once this mother-in-law is gone, my husband is going to be all right. No, I mean, she's already messed him up. She's already damaged him since childhood. So hey everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So today I'm going to talk about the different ways covert narcissistic mothers turn their sons against their wives and children. And before I get going, I would request you all to like, share, subscribe the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys are updated whenever we put out a new content. So I guess one of my subscriber had asked this question: the different ways these covert narcissistic mothers secretly turn their sons against their wives and children. So I thought that let me make a content and share what I have to say. I mean, one of the subscriber had asked, so I thought that let me make a content and then I mean just put it on this channel so that it helps others. I mean, this is the least I can do for you guys. I mean, I have my own restrictions and limitations, but yes, whenever you guys come up with questions, I feel good answering them, and I feel good in creating a content out of it, because then it helps you and it helps the others as well. Yeah. So what are the different ways? I mean, the ways are just the usual one: manipulation, gaslighting, silent treatment, withholding love and affection. It's just the usual stuff. But yeah, I mean, in this video, I'll tell you how she blackmails, how this covert narcissistic mother blackmails, how this covert narcissistic mother manipulates, how this covert narcissistic mother uses guilt and shame to control her son. Yeah, and to force her son into, betraying his wife and children, neglecting his wife and children. So the first way these covert narcissistic mothers, secretly turn their son against, his wife and children is by, guilt tripping him, and by regularly, telling him that after all I have done for you, this is what I get in return. Do you have any idea what all I went through? Do you have any idea what all I sacrificed just for the sake of you? So, these narcissistic mothers, I mean, covert narcissistic mothers especially, they are like the eternal victims, martyr, savior, and that's it. These bitches, I mean, these covert narcissists are never the, villain. I mean, healing teaches you that it's okay to be the villain in someone's story. But these narcissistic individuals, especially these covert narcissistic mothers, they are horrible. I mean, if you see the signs, the best thing is to leave the guy. And if the guy is aware and if the guy is ready to heal, okay, you can have a wonderful life with that guy because he has awareness, he has understanding. But if he's ignorant, if he's trauma bonded, he's a victim of emotional incest, then it's a hopeless case. Don't waste your energy, time, and don't think that a child is going to fix your relationship, money is going to fix your relationship. I mean, not till the time that bitch is alive. Yeah. And by the time she dies, your husband will be beyond repair. Trust me, she will damage him beyond repair. So if you see the signs, the best thing is to leave. Yeah. I mean, you are staying in the relationship, I don't know for what joy. I mean, if you have money, if you are independent, or if you have a support system, you should just leave. Yeah. But I mean, people have their own reasons. I am no one to comment on that. You might be having your own reason. But this guy, I mean, will be damaged beyond repair, to tell you honestly. So, every time, the guy chooses his wife or family or his wife's happiness or children's happiness, this covert narcissistic mother is going to keep him reminded of the things that she has done. And this is basically to draw his attention back onto herself. Yeah. She's going to, subtly, indirectly tell the son that, they shouldn't be your priority, the wife and the children. Your priority should be me, because I went through this, and you can never repay what a mother does. So now you need to keep doing and doing and doing things for me. So these covert narcissistic mothers, make the guy believe, I mean her son believe, that love is a kind of a debt that he can never repay. I mean, the love that the covert narcissistic mother has given to him, it's a debt that he can never repay, especially, uh, to his own family. I mean, to his father and mother. So these narcissistic mothers are going to keep controlling, keep manipulating their son. And to tell you honestly, with such level of emotional manipulation and abuse, that man is cooked, that man is damaged beyond repair. Yeah, because every interaction is in some ways invoking guilt and shame. Every connection that he has with his family is based on guilt and shame, and it's really difficult. It is really difficult. And these covert narcissistic mothers, I mean, they can be really toxic and addictive. And by creating all those highs and lows, she will neglect, and then she will all of a sudden give you attention. She's going to pretend as if she's so burdened. These covert narcissistic mothers are going to pretend as if she's buried in her own problem and she's a poor soul, nobody helps her. And all of it is basically to make the son feel obligated and prioritize her and fix her problem rather than fixing his wife's problem and children's problem. So these covert narcissistic mothers are real parasites, and there is literally no medicine to get rid of these parasites. The only way is to leave the mother and son alone, I mean with each other, and that's it. The only way to save yourself is to end such relationship, because you know your entire life will be like a fight, like a war. Yeah, every day you have to explain your husband, every day you have to educate him and tell him and make him understand, educate him about self-worth, self-esteem, because this bitch has already disconnected him from his core. This bitch has already distorted things for him. This bitch has already eroded his self-worth and self-esteem. So your husband may never be able to see things the way it is. Yeah, it will be really difficult. And by the time this woman dies, I mean the covert narcissistic mother dies, your relationship is fucked up. I mean it's just messed up. It's beyond repair. So the safest thing to do is to exit, to take a leave, to leave. If you have finances, if you have support system, if you have a good supportive family to help you, if you have your own circle of friends, if you're working, if you're making money, there's no point in staying in such relationship. I mean, there are a lot of individuals who experience cognitive dissonance, and they choose to remain in toxic relationship thinking that she will die, then things will change. Once this mother-in-law is gone, my husband is going to be all right. No, I mean, she's already messed him up. She's already damaged him since childhood. So until unless he doesn't go no contact, until unless he doesn't have this awareness, nothing is going to change. You're just wasting your time and energy, and trust me, nothing is going to change. So I mean, the safest way is to leave such men. Yeah, and not keep blaming him for having a covert narcissistic mother, because you never know, he might be a covert narcissist as well. Yeah, I mean, we learn from our caregivers. I mean, you cannot deny the fact we learn from our caregivers. And these product, I mean, of covert narcissistic mothers, they have a lot of these things in them. They are manipulative, they are into playing victim, they are smart individuals, because they are learning all of those things from their caregiver, their role models. Their role model is a narcissist, a covert narcissist. So what are they learning? They are definitely learning a lot of things. So don't waste your time hoping that your husband is going to change, things are going to change. No, your husband might have become a male version of that woman. Yeah, so I mean, I get it. I mean, it's okay, 1 2 year you can see, you can hope, Don't waste your time, otherwise it'll be too late and you'll be, burnt to ashes. You will not be able to resurrect and, again stand and start over again. The other way these covert narcissistic mothers guilt trip their son or secretly turn their son, against, his wife and children is by constantly complaining and telling their son that, I hardly see you now. I mean, since the time you have got married, you hardly have time. I hardly get to see you. You hardly spend time with me. You are hardly at home. Yeah. And this is basically to, uh, guilt trip the son. This is basically a kind of her leash, to guilt trip the son into, remaining on hook by telling him that I hardly see you these days. Since the time you're married, I mean, I hardly see you. You're all the time busy. You just don't care about your poor mother. You just don't care about, your old mother. So, these covert narcissistic mothers, they use guilt as, their leash, to control and keep the son on hook. And, he is all the time, punished for, setting boundaries. So if he is keeping things to himself, if he is protecting his wife, prioritizing the family that he has made, if he does that, he is punished, for prioritizing them and not prioritizing his narcissistic mother. So, these women, covert narcissistic women, are horrible. Trust me, if you see the sign, just run. You cannot make things work out with these, individuals. And to tell you honestly, I have dealt personally. Covert narcissistic women are real bitches. They are Jezebels from hell. Trust me, they are going to drive you crazy. They are going to drive their son crazy. And you can never, make things work out. So the best thing is to leave the guy and end the relationship. So, this covert narcissistic mother is going to keep telling him, since the time you have a child, you hardly care about me. Since the time you're married, you hardly care about me. And this is basically to guilt trip the son that you have forgotten me after your marriage. You have forgotten me after your child. I mean, why not? I mean, you spent your share of time with your son. Now let him get married and start his family and live his life. He is not your servant. I get it. If you need something, you can reach out, but don't be a burden on him. I mean, give him that freedom, give him that liberty to enjoy life and make a life for himself and, for his wife and for his kids. Yeah. So these narcissistic, I mean, covert narcissistic mothers have their own unique way to guilt trip their son. The other way how these covert narcissistic mothers secretly turn their son against their wife and children is by constantly, blaming the wife, I mean, of the son, that, she's taken him away, she's, made him mad. And this is basically to just blame the wife, and this is basically to guilt trip the son. And, in some of the cases, I have seen that this strategy works. I mean, these covert narcissistic mothers, they are able to, create, a kind of a friction. They are able to create, a rift between the daughter-in-law and her son by using these kind of dialogues. And, in some of the cases, these covert narcissistic mothers are even successful in planting, seeds of resentment and division between the husband and the wife. Victimhood is something, that is used as a weapon by these, covert narcissistic mothers. Yeah. And it's basically to, fracture his loyalty, towards his family, I mean his wife and, his kids. So these covert narcissistic mothers have their own unique way. I mean, you will see a lot of similarities, in their strategy and in their way, but trust me, it changes, from one religion to the other, from one continent to the other, from this age group to the other. It changes. There might be a lot of similarities, but, there might be a lot of, different, ways, there might be a lot of different, signs, yeah, that you will observe. I mean, an Indian covert narcissistic mother will be very different from an Arab covert narcissistic mother. A covert narcissistic mother, from Europe will be very different from a covert narcissistic mother from some other continent or country. Yeah, so that is also there. But yeah, I mean, basic things are there: manipulation, guilt trip, shaming, criticizing, blaming, the wife. Those things are common. But yeah, there are a lot of different ways these kind of women manipulate and control their son with age also. I mean, the one that is in her 40s and 50s, she will be handling and reacting in a different way. An older covert narcissistic mother, she will forever be on her deathbed. She will forever have health conditions. She will forever be fragile, and she will forever need assistance and support and care and everything from her son. So it changes. Some things are common, but there are other variations as well amongst these covert narcissistic mothers. The other way how these covert narcissistic mothers turn their son against his wife and his children is by constantly reminding him that uh, no other woman is going to love you the way I do. Yeah, so the way how I love you, I mean, the way how the covert narcissistic mother loves her son, no other woman can love him that way. And to tell you honestly, there is some truth to it, because this bitch is into blurring boundaries, this bitch is into parentifying, this bitch is into establishing emotional incest. So definitely her version of love is very different from the kind of love that he's going to get from a woman, the kind of love that he's going to get from his children. Yeah, because this version that he has with his covert narcissistic mother, it's purely toxic, it's disgusting, it's not love, it's just control and manipulation. So I mean, yes, I mean, she's going to guilt trip him, she's going to keep telling him that your wife is not going to love the way how I love you. I mean, who the hell wants to compare? A mother's love is different, a sister's love is different, a daughter's love is different. But this bitch wants to override anything and everything. These covert narcissistic mothers are effed up individuals, to tell you honestly. If you see the signs, if you're tolerating, I mean, either you have some serious issues going on, or I mean, you have some serious problem, or you are, I mean, in some kind of a limbo that you're expecting that things are going to change. Nothing. She's going to keep guilt tripping the son, and she's going to keep extorting things out of that guy. Covert narcissistic mothers are expert in disguising her emotional incest, I mean the emotional incest between her and her son, as pure love and devotion. Yeah, so they're not going to say that I have been treating you like my pseudo husband. So the best way is to tell him that your wife is also not going to love you the way how I love you. I mean, a wife loves the husband the way a wife does. A mother loves the son the way a mother does. So, I mean, what is this comparison? Yeah. So, I mean, that is a kind of a red flag. I mean, for all those, son, adults who have been raised by covert narcissistic mothers, I mean, if you are watching this video, please do look out for the signs, and don't jeopardize your family. Don't jeopardize your family. Don't, jeopardize your relationship with your girl, with your wife, and with your children, with the family that you have created because of your mother. Don't do that, because in the end you will have to live with the family that you have created. This woman is going to ruin you, damage you, and wreak havoc, and she's going to move on. In the end, they are going to be there. So I mean, don't ruin your relationship because of your mother. Yeah, just a piece of advice. The other way how these covert narcissistic mothers secretly turn their son against their wife and children is by offering help with the kids. Yeah, first she's going to enter and she's going to offer help with the kids. Let me help you with the kids, let me help you raise them. And then she will start telling you that you are not good, you know, when it comes to raising your children. Your wife is just not good. She's not raising them right. She's going to enter telling you that I'm going to help with the kids, and then she's going to start criticizing your parenting. She's going to start criticizing your wife's parenting. Yeah. And this is basically to make the son doubt his family, his wife, yeah, and his own ability. Yeah. And this is the most common thing that I get to see with these covert narcissistic mothers. They pretend to be family, and they keep undermining the son's family. They pretend to be there for support, and they keep you know gaslighting the son. They keep criticizing uh, the sons or the daughter-in-law's parenting style. So this woman enters uh, pretending to be someone who can support the son with the children, with the family, and then she starts gaslighting the son, then she starts criticizing the son. Yeah, so this is the classic example of a covert narcissistic mother. She's going to enter your life as a support system, as your savior, as your rescuer, and then she will start turning you against your family, against your wife, against your children, by telling you, well, she doesn't know how to raise the child. I mean, this is not how it is done. She's not a good mother. I wonder, I mean, how the childs are going to turn up in their adult life. I mean, you both are just useless, and your wife is horrible. Is that how you parent a child? No. So she's going to enter, and then she's going to manipulate you, she's going to gaslight you, create all that friction between you and your wife, and that's it. Your family is fucked up. So the best thing is, don't let them enter your married life, don't let them enter your family. Start a family alone. Yeah, let her be happy with her whatsoever. Let her be happy in her space, and don't involve her in your personal space. Otherwise, your personal space is going to get fucked up. Yeah, I mean, you cannot have two wives in the same house. I mean, sensible individuals, you cannot. Yeah, because she also sees you as her pseudo husband, and you have got other wife as well. So you'll just be pulled between the two. Don't do that. Treat your mother like a mother and keep her aside, and prioritize your wife and prioritize your children. And the last way, and the most common way, these covert narcissistic mothers turn their son, against their wife and children, is by, faking hurt. I mean, whenever she's not included in the couple or the family plans, she's going to pretend as if she's deeply hurt. I guess I'm not important anymore. I guess you've forgotten your mother. I guess you've forgotten this and that. I guess you've forgotten, the things that I have done for you. Do you have any idea what I went through? And again, the same narration, the same storytelling, all those, lies and fake story, rewritten history, omitted facts. And, then she's going to start, guilt tripping the son. And every happy family moment transforms and becomes a guilt trip. Yeah. So if you are having a good time, vacation, spending good time with your partner, with your wife, with your children, she's going to insert herself. She's going to fake as if she is hurt. She is going to fake her illness. And then she's going to say, oh, you were there. Oh, you were there. You only care about me. You have just forgotten about your mother. You're just focused on your wife and kid. It's okay. Maybe that's, what God has for me. I mean, this woman is very dangerous. I'm telling you. For all those who have been raised by covert narcissistic mothers, and those who are married to sons who are raised by covert narcissistic mothers, this woman is very dangerous. This woman is very smart. So never, think of, outsmarting her. You can't do that. The only thing that you can do to protect yourself is leaving her alone and, just going no contact. I mean, I don't know, the kind of dynamic, the son has, but I mean, if you can, leave them. Don't waste your time and energy, in such a family where the mother is the first wife, the only wife of the son. Yeah, because she's emotionally wedded to him, he's emotionally wedded to her. Yeah, all those sad stories, your grandma did this, your daddy neglected me, this, and this small little boy became her pseudo husband. So, I mean, he's already exhausted. He might not be able to function as a husband, to tell you honestly. He's already exhausted. He's burnt out. He's already played the role of a husband. So, he won't be able to play the role of a husband with you. He's already taken, let me tell you this, minus plus the sex, he's already taken. So, this covert narcissistic mother is going to, do all sorts of things to secretly turn, you know, uh, her son against his wife and his children. So, the best way is to leave them alone. I know it's sad, but that's the only way. Or else use boundary and, don't let her enter in your personal space. Tell your husband to go out and do whatever he wants, but she's not welcomed and she's not invited. If you can be strong and do that, then you can somewhat manage. But if you are weak and if you want to please your husband and if you want to, you know, uh, fix everything, in the best way possible, without hurting anyone or without, being seen as the bad one. I mean, don't get into that. That's another rabbit hole. Just let them be and just move on. So, yes, I mean, these were, some of the ways how these covert narcissistic mothers, secretly uh, turn their sons against their wives and children. In case if you would like to add in something, you can always comment below. Till then, take care of yourself. Lots of love and blessings to all of you. Bye.